Thank you for watching Hack the File. I'm Michael Lopez, and today's video is going to be Tribe of Hackers. Enjoy. All right, today we're going to be reviewing the Tribe of Hackers Security Leaders by Marcus J. Carey and Jennifer Jin, produced by Wiley Productions, I guess, or Wiley Books Publishing Company. If you know, if you've seen some of my other videos on Tribe of Hackers, you know that I'm a big fan. Um, I think they're very informative and very useful books, and they're just fun to read by a fire. So I've got these in digital copy for my video purposes, but I've got them in book form to just curl up by the fire and just read them. They're very interesting. So if you're not familiar with these books, um, they're basically this guy Marcus um, interviews different security leaders that he knows through his Twitter or LinkedIn or um, Instagram. I don't know. He uses all kinds of um, avenues. Let me see what it is. Over the last few years, here I'll read some of it. Over the last few years, there has been a frequently repeated statistics claim that there are more than 3 million cybersecurity jobs left unfilled. I don't really believe that's true, but I believe we have an even bigger problem. I'll admit that we need more people who understand and can help reduce cyber risk. The number is probably significant, but who is going to lead the people who are coming into the field? Who is going to lead the people currently in the field? So he's just going over an overview of his book, of this book. This book is not beating up on current security leaders. Security leaders and leadership should start with CEOs, moving all the way down to cybersecurity owners and their teams. Let me see. So this one is Tribe of Hackers Security Leaders. So the last books, let me go over here real quick. Let me see if I have another digital Tribe of Hackers. Okay, so right here, Red Team. So this book, and I already made a video of this. This book is Tribe of Hackers Red Team. So this is Red Team orientated by the same guy, Marcus J. Carey. And this one's about security leaders. Now, the concept of this book is he interviews, in case you don't know, he interviews different security leaders or different red team people, depending on whatever the book is oriented towards. And he, in this case, it's security leaders, and he asks them the same 10 questions. I think it's like 15 questions. He asks them all the same 15 questions, and he publishes their answers, and that's it. And I think it started with, I believe he was on Twitter. Let's see if it says in here. It says it every book. So, um, so let me see. I'm trying to just find to see where he. I think it's Twitter. And they're all his friends, and he's been in the industry for a long time. and it's all his contacts, friends, and he decided. And I guess he first asked him the questions on Twitter, and he got a big response from him, so he decided to do it in book form. So what we do is reviewing his books, these interesting book, his books, Tribe of Hackers. We always start with him, and then I do, under 30 minutes, and I try to review about. I do about three or four more, like two dudes, two girls, or whatever, different people on here, and try to, and that's what we do, and then we talk about it a little bit. Okay. Now this one I think is very cool because it's interviewing and asking these security leaders, which are your bosses if you're in the field or you're thinking about getting in the field, or going to be your bosses, and it asks them 10 questions. And I saw one of the questions on there was, how do you recruit? What are you looking for when you recruit somebody, right? And that's kind of important if you're looking for a job, and it's important if you have a job and you're gonna look for a better job later. I mean, cybersecurity field, people are constantly upgrading, trying to get more money and learn more cooler things in cybersecurity. So here we go. Marcus J. Carey is going to be our first one since he's the writer. I am a big motivator. I get people hyped up all the time. So it is Twitter, and then here's their Twitters, right? You can go to Twitter and you can follow them. And then he has a LinkedIn profile right here. His website is LinkedIn Marcus Carey. See, so it has his contact information. Marcus J. Carey is a cybersecurity community advocate and startup founder with more than 25 years of protecting government and commercial sensitive data. He started his cybersecurity career in the U.S. Navy cryptology with further service in the National Security Agency, NSA. Do you believe there is a massive shortage of career cybersecurity professionals? That's the first question. And he asked himself. This is going to be a little bit of a cybersecurity heresy. But I don't believe that we need career cybersecurity professionals to be able to combat the risks that we currently have and will have in the future. If I could wave a magic wand, I'd enable all the information technology, computer science, electrical engineers, etc., to be more knowledgeable, responsible, and accountable for cyber risk. That same magic wand would also eliminate most cybersecurity roles except for oversight and compliance. We bridge the gap by making cybersecurity be part of everyone's job. Each area of responsibility should have cybersecurity stakeholders such as system administrators, software developers, network engineers, etc. They should play a more accountable role. Together as a group, they would have more skin in the game because they would be directly to blame. I've seen so many times where security teams relegated to the sidelines are somehow still blamed for breaches. To implement this, the executive team must play an extremely critical role. Now, do you agree with that or do you not agree with that? So that's the whole point of this video. We're going to go through his answers or everybody's different answers. We're not going to go through all the questions. We're going to pick ones and then we're going to go through. And then we're going to see if we agree with them or not. I'll give you my opinion or not and everything. What's the most important decision you've made or action you've taken related to business risk? We're going to skip that one. How do you make hard decisions? Do you find yourself more often making people, process, and technology decisions? What's something that you struggle with as a leader and how do you overcome that? Let's read that one. I'm a big motivator. I get people hyped up all the time. Since I'm pumping people up and getting them super confident, it guts them when I'm critical of their performance. I've learned to take a balanced approach where I can't hype people up so much. I also talk. I also try to talk with them more often, so I can microdose any criticism without them feeling like a tsunami just hit them. So in other words, he's trying to be more empathetic. He's not trying to be too crucial, critical, and hype them up to expect too much of themselves and all that. That makes sense. That's the normal struggle of a leader. You don't want people. You want to come at them the right way without crushing their dreams and their soul and wanting them to look for a new job and hate what they're doing when they loved what they were doing to begin with. I understand that one. How do you lead your team to execute to get good results? How do you have a workforce philosophy or a unique approach to talent acquisition? This is the one we want to read. I'm confident that if you hire right, anyone can learn how to perform most roles if they are given 6 months of on the job experience. When hiring, make sure that you have a minimum viable candidate in mind. So many organizations try to hire the perfect candidate based on exactly what they have running in their enterprise. Even organizations in the same vertical do business and cybersecurity differently. The minimal viable candidate will be kicking butt in a few months. Hire them, train them, equip them, and then they'll pay you back in spades. Here's the key right here: hire them, train them is the key. If you're hiring new people and you know that they are dedicated to learning and knowing how to learn, you need to train them properly. Don't give them an assignment and expect them to guess how you want it, and then get mad at them when they didn't do it the way you guessed. Explain to them, show them how to fish so they can feed themselves. Don't give them the fish, right? Equip them, yeah. Give them what they need to get it done after you show them how you want it done, right? I agree with this, but these are the two main things right here. A lot of companies are hiring people and they're not training them at all. You know what I mean. That's not the first, second, third, fourth time I've heard this. I hear it all the time. Complaints from fellow people that I know that I used to work with or whatever. Right? Um, People I know say it all the time. There's no training where I'm working. All this stuff. So um, training should be easy. I think that should be like a main priority is to have your new employees trained properly without degradation when you don't train them properly, that they didn't do it right or the way you wanted it done, because then you're just relegating them to use their own mind and experience and intelligence to come up with something that they think you might like, and that's just garbage. And then if it's not right, or if it's way over your head, the leaders' heads, then they get mad and they're like, "Well, this is a waste of time. This is not right." When in doubt, it wasn't. But the communication wasn't there, and the proper training wasn't there. And then there's you need to ask more questions and all that. A new employee should ask questions, but training is a factor. He needs to, or that person needs to ask questions that's pertinent to his training, or else he's wasting company time. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of companies don't have a training program set in place at all, ever. And that's especially if you're building a new team, get a training program done. You need to have step by step what we need for certain things, from small tasks to big tasks. And a lot of the problem is that a lot of these leaders, they don't know how they want the big task to be done. They're assuming, or they're seeing if there's a better way, and there's too much room for creativity. Show them how you want it first, and then when they get it right, then allow them to be, and then tell them, yeah, you can be creative now and add your own flair to it, and we'll either approve it or deny it. So there's got to be a lot of thought going into it. All right, let's pick another person. Let's just do those three questions because we're going to make this a short video because twice short, twice strong, right? That's what we're gonna do, and we're gonna pick a random person here. See if I can pick a girl, maybe, just to get a different perspective. And these are all the different people. All right, we'll do Tash Bettridge. Okay. The biggest struggle that I have experienced as a leader is accepting that I am a leader. Oh, that's a good one. I like that one. And here's her LinkedIn, and then here's her website, I guess. I don't know. She doesn't have a Twitter. Okay, Kia Ora. Kia Ora. Kia Ora. I am Tash Batridge, and I am a cybersecurity analyst working on the incident and response team at Vodafone New England. I previously worked as a remote cybersecurity consultant for an organization in New Zealand. I have a bachelor's in communication systems and a focus on network and cybersecurity. I currently am doing my master's with a focus on women in cybersecurity and how to support networks such as New Zealand's Network for Women in Security can bring together a community of women to mentor, train, and retrain the industry. Man, that's awesome. Okay, I want to read this. Do you believe there is a massive shortage of career cybersecurity professionals? That's a good question. This question is a bit difficult to answer from a global perspective. If I relate this back to my personal experience in New Zealand, I do believe we have a cybersecurity talent shortage. This is because many organizations prefer cybersecurity professionals with at least 2 years of industry experience and relative security or networking certifications. Therefore, this becomes a huge divide for many grads who want an opportunity to enter the cybersecurity field in New Zealand. I think one way to bridge the cybersecurity gap is for organizations to set up a graduate program that enables graduates to bring theories and practical education in a professional environment. I believe we can bridge the gap between education and employment by giving university students the opportunity to learn and grow in the organization. I think that's a great answer. All right, let's ask the same questions. Okay, what are some things you struggle with as a leader, and how do you overcome that? The biggest struggle that I experience as a leader is accepting that I am a leader. I'll, I have always been someone who identifies more as a team member than a leader. I've always downplayed my achievements or leadership capabilities because I suffer from imposter syndrome. I have always been someone who loves to help others, and when I started this organization in New Zealand with my co founder, Sai Ho Nig, I saw I wasn't the only woman who had experienced imposter syndrome in cybersecurity. There have been many times when women in cybersecurity leadership wanted to drop out because of their careers because they feel like they're imposters in the industry. Even though I was still new to leadership, I felt sad that women were feeling the same way. Worst of all, I was in the new industry where they had years of industry experience. Therefore, this made me overcome my imposter syndrome and embrace the growth mindset. Worst of all, I was new in the industry where they had years. How do you lead your team? How do you cultivate relationship? How do you encourage challenges? Do you have any favorite books to recommend for people who want to lead cybersecurity teams? This is not in any order, but here are a few of my favorite books. These books are not based on leadership. Some of these are just good books to read. The Hacker Playbook, practically, I've got that one. Code Girls, the untold story of American women code breakers of World War II. The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, that's a good one too. Breaking and Entering, the extraordinary story of a hacker called Alien by Jeremy Smith. I'm going to have to look that one up. Breaking and Entering. What happened to the one question? How do you recruit? So I guess they don't answer some So all the questions, right? All right, now let's pick another interesting looking person. Just the first one that looks pretty interesting. Well, that guy looks interesting. Bill Burns. I spent a fair amount of time coaching and educating folks on how to handle personal communications and deal with the quirks that make each person unique. There's his Twitter handle and website. Bill Burns is currently Informatica's chief information security officer and head of the privacy protection, ensuring that customers can trust Informatica with the most important data. Bill has built and grown high-scale security programs and Accenture, Netscape, Netflix, and Informatica. Worked security from both IT R&D perspectives and shaped information security investment strategies with venture capital. His team has been part of digital transformation on global scale, incorporating security compliance risk into companies' corporate DNA. Bill has two computer security patents and is active startup advisor, and his free time trains disaster preparedness for emergency communicators in California. Bill has 25 plus years of security experience and holds degrees in electrical engineering and business from Michigan Technology University, MTU. Do you believe there's a massive shortage in career cybersecurity professionals? I believe there is a shortfall, but I don't believe it is a massive as we read in the press. While security is held as a corporate goal and incorporated into the organization's DNA, my thesis is that the untapped capacity will reduce the perceived cybersecurity skills gap and improve the overall cybersecurity posture. I believe there's a shortage of companies that set and enforce an appropriate tone for cybersecurity expectations at the company culture level. There's a shortage of employees with cybersecurity related goals in their annual objectives and measures tied to a tangible outcome like bonus payouts or department funding, for example. We still need deep security expertise reserved for career cybersecurity professionals, and this need is growing. But we can't expect that a dedicated team be responsible for security goals, while the rest of the business has business goals that are separate and distinct. So he's basically saying the same thing as the last person. That, just a little bit more bigger words. What is something you struggle with as a leader, and how do you overcome that? I struggle with good enough. I take a lot of yes, because you're an engineer, and electrical engineers, is if it works, it's good. I mean, I take a lot of pride in my work and my team's work. I love to learn new technologies, better ways of working, and new ways to be efficient and effective. I appreciate lean and MVP approaches, delivering somewhat useful that fits the purpose, and the endless journeys to improve something that's not quite right, especially if you're building an innovative phase. I've learned to dampen perfectionism by collecting outside feedback from stakeholders, measuring values at critical milestones, to help quantify when improvements or changes produce diminishing returns on investments. Even if the measurement of the feedback are qualitative, the process of getting an outside in perspective helps counter the inner dialogue to help improving or solve the corner case of what if. Blah blah blah. What he's saying is that he's saying all kinds of technical jargon that sounds about right. How do you lead your executing and get results? Okay. Do you have a workforce philosophy or a unique approach to talent acquisitions? I don't think I have a unique approach, but I feel blessed to have worked alongside many brilliant, passionate people in my career so far. While I do rely on past experiences as a predicator for future performances when I am getting to know potential candidates, when I ask them about situations they have been previously, I'm listening for more than just achieving objectives. I'm listening to the context in their answer. What did they learn? How high is their emotional intelligence? What soft skills did they use to accomplish the task? Do they have a growth mindset? How will they handle unknowns and ambiguities? What motivates them to keep doing what they enjoy? How do they stay motivated when they do things? So, in other words, he's looking for other things than just achievements. Hiring the right person for a particular job is a mix of all these. Retaining them is also a mix of these and is unique to each person. So he's looking for some different stuff. He's looking for emotional intelligence and how they get through their problems. That guy was pretty cool. Seems super intelligent. I mean, they're all super intelligent, but this guy seemed a little bit too. Um, um, what do you call that? Elon Muskus. Let's find another person here. Let's see. We'll do Chris Cochran. And then this is the last one. Whether I inherit a team or build one, I take my team through an exercise to find our purpose and set a foundation for our team's identity. This not only puts the entire team on the same page, but also instills a sense of mission for each member. I like that. Here's his website. It's a LinkedIn. Chris Cochran is a former active duty U.S. Marine intelligence analyst. Currently leads threat intelligence at Netflix. Awesome. Chris has dedicated his career to building advanced cybersecurity and intelligence capabilities for government and private organizations. Chris has made his personal mission to motivate and empower cybersecurity professionals and teams through coaching, speaking engagements, and podcasts. Hacker Valley Studio. His concerns for ever-growing cybersecurity gaps serve as motivators for his desire to inspire the next generation of cyber warriors to take the helm. Do you believe that there's a massive shortage in cybersecurity professionals? There is a current shortage, and it is currently forecasted to worsen over the next few years. While this, while it is an issue that many people are working to address, I see an opportunity to get more individuals from diverse backgrounds, cultures, and mindsets to get into the field that I love. Diversity isn't a buzzword; it's an advantage characteristic of effective team and organization. So this guy, he's talking about creative innovation stuff that is true. You can't have the same mindset of the same people solving the same problems. You need to have different backgrounds, cultures, and all that to come up with new ideas. The Brit to bridge the gap, we must inspire cybersecurity leaders and professionals to reach out to varied communities and convey the mutually beneficial nature of cybersecurity. This outreach does not have to be grandiose. The advantage of our increasingly interconnected world is that we can reach communities from the comfort of our homes. People have started podcast blogs and social media to expose our world to the inspirational or the uninitiated. This guy, I like this because this is true. Everything he's saying is absolutely true from a creative or innovative standpoint. You can't solve new problems with old people with the same old mindset. You need to have fresh, new thoughts, ways to come at things, and that all comes with different people from different backgrounds, cultures, and mindsets. Doesn't matter, you have to have diversity. Then you can solve all the different problems that come at you with new ideas and new ways, right? I mean, that's just common sense. It's just a given. Um, got 1 minute left, so I know I didn't get to do this. This guy's interesting. I'm gonna come back to him and read him. So, like I said, I have a physical book, and I'll read this whole book, just relaxing. It's just an awesome book. Um, Tribe of Hackers is just a brilliant, I would say, idea into how to get great answers from different parts of cybersecurity and people. Because we're all human beings. It goes back to the we're all human beings. Why Google an answer? Google's just an algorithm. You can come to read some of these books and you can get actual human experiences and human answers. Okay? And that's what this channel is all about, Hack the File. About stuff like this. Um, this is perfect to my philosophy of learning. All these answers to these same questions are different. Some of them are similar, some of them are the same, but they're all different personality wise. And if you read this stuff and you take their human perspective and you take it in for, let's say, for consideration, and you look at their background, um, this is what we need to be doing in the cyber field. That's why the Tribe of Hackers is a great book, a great community to be a part of. I would say, because you're the 9 times out of 10, the average person is going to Google something when they're struggling. Hey, how do I deal with this? They're going to Google it. Why Google it when you could pick up a book like this and see if the question is in here, and see how other people just like you with the same amount of experience or more or less have handled these problems. And this gives you a brief little taste of how they handle it, right? And then if you read through this whole book, you'll have, especially if you're a leader, let's say, Edward Contreras, right? Let's say you find somebody that's kind of similar to you, and you're struggling with one of these things, one of these questions, and you read it, and it resonates with you. Hey, there you go. Then you're gonna get an honest human response and answer to somebody's experience in the field, and not just a Google algorithm answer or a chat AI GBT bullcrap. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that was Tribal Hackers. Little quick video, and I hope you guys go pick this book up, man. If not, um, you know, here goes another one. Blue Team. Blue Team is an awesome one. Um, I mean, I've got them all. I've got Red Team, Blue Team, Security, and then I'm gonna get the yellow one too and do a video on that one. And they're just fun books. I love them. Pick them up, read them. It'll give you some insight to the industry and then into the problems and questions that we need answered. All right, that was Hack the File. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you on the next video.